The sun rose over a broken world. Cities lay in ruins. Fields were burned. Millions had died. But Earth was still there. Humanity was still there. And that was what mattered. Admiral Tejo stood at the edge of a cliff, looking out at the ocean. His uniform was torn and dirty. There was a bandage around his arm, where a piece of metal had cut him during the battle. He had not slept in days, but he felt more alive than ever. General Yuna walked up beside him. She looked just as tired, just as worn, but there was a smile on her face that nothing could erase. "Final reports are coming in," she said. 60% of the Veltari fleet destroyed. The rest retreated beyond our solar system. "They are gone. For now," Tejo said quietly. "For now," Yuna agreed. "But we will be ready if they come back." They stood in silence for a moment, watching the waves crash against the rocks below. The ocean was calm now, peaceful. It was hard to believe that hidden beneath its surface, hundreds of ships had waited for their moment. The casualty numbers? Tejo asked. Yuna's smile faded slightly. "Heavy, very heavy. We lost many good people, soldiers, scientists, civilians. The world will be mourning for a long time." Tejo closed his eyes. He thought about all the faces he would never see again, all the voices he would never hear. Every death was a weight on his heart. But he knew that without their sacrifice, everyone would be dead. "They died as heroes," Tejo said. "Every single one of them. They saved our planet. They saved our future. Yes, they did." In the underground base, Ki-sung and Hana sat among the remains of the gravity pulse generator. The machine was destroyed, its parts scattered across the laboratory. They had given everything to make it work, and it had saved them all. "We actually did it," Ki-sung said softly. He still could not believe it. "We actually beat them." Hana leaned her head against his shoulder. She was too tired to sit straight. "We need to build another one. A better one. In case they come back." "They will come back," Ki-sung said. "Maybe not the Veltari, but there are other species out there. Other empires. We showed the galaxy that Earth will fight. Some will fear us. Others will want to test us. Then we will be ready," Hana said. "We will build better weapons, better ships, better defenses. We will make sure that no one ever threatens Earth again." Ki-sung smiled and put his arm around her. "Together?" "Together," she answered. Across the world, people began to rebuild. In Seoul, Commander Day 1 led his soldiers through the streets, helping civilians clear away the damage. They moved broken vehicles. They pulled people from collapsed buildings. They handed out food and water to those who had lost everything. Sora walked beside him. She had a cut on her forehead and bruises on her arms. But she was alive. Her entire team was alive. That felt like a miracle. "Commander," she said, "what happens now?" Day 1 looked around at the destruction. Then he looked at the sky, bright and clear for the first time in days. "Now we rebuild. We make our city stronger. We train more soldiers. And we never forget what happened here." "I do not think anyone will ever forget," Sora said. A little girl ran up to them. She could not have been more than 7 years old. Her face was dirty and her clothes were torn. But she was smiling. "Are you the soldiers who saved us?" she asked. Day 1 knelt down to look at her. "We all saved each other. Everyone fought. Everyone helped. That is how we won." The little girl reached into her pocket and pulled out a small flower. It was simple and white, somehow untouched by all the destruction. She held it out to Day 1. "For you," she said. "Thank you for keeping us safe." Day 1 took the flower carefully. For a moment, his tough soldier face softened. "Thank you," he said quietly. "This means more than you know." At Earth's Defense Command, world leaders gathered once again. But this time, there was no fear. There was no argument. There was only unity. "We need to form a permanent alliance," said one leader. "Not just for this war. For all future threats. We cannot go back to fighting each other. We must stand together." "Agreed," said another. "One planet. One military. One goal. Protect humanity." Admiral Taiho addressed the group. The Veltari thought we were weak because we were divided. They thought our differences would break us. But instead, we came together. We proved that when humanity unites, nothing can stop us. General Yuna stepped forward. "We need to look beyond just defense. We need to go into space ourselves. We need to explore, to build colonies, to show the galaxy that humanity is not trapped on one small planet. We are ready to take our place among the stars." The leaders nodded in agreement. For the first time in history, there would be no borders in the sky. Only the flag of Earth dot far away, in the dark space beyond the solar system. What remained of the Veltari fleet drifted toward home. Commander Drac was dead, crushed inside his own flagship. But some officers survived. They carried with them a message for their empire. "Report," said the Emperor when they arrived. His voice was cold and ancient. "What happened at the human planet?" The surviving officer bowed low. He was shaking. "Your Majesty, we were defeated." The Emperor's 4 eyes narrowed. "Defeated? By primitives? Impossible." "It is true, Your Majesty. They had hidden weapons, hidden ships. They fought without fear. They laughed at us." "Laughed?" "Yes, Your Majesty. When we demanded surrender, their leader laughed. And then they destroyed half our fleet." The Emperor was silent for a long time. He had ruled the Veltari for thousands of years. He had conquered countless worlds. He had never heard of anything like this. "These humans," he finally said, "they are dangerous. What are your orders, Your Majesty? Should we send a larger fleet? Should we destroy them completely?" The Emperor thought carefully. He thought about the cost. He thought about the risk. He thought about a species that would rather die than surrender. "No," he said slowly. "We will leave them alone. For now. Let the galaxy know that Earth is not to be touched. Any empire that attacks them does so at their own risk." He looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there was a small blue planet full of strange, stubborn creatures. "Watch them," the Emperor ordered. "Learn from them. They are not like the others. They are different." Back on Earth, night fell. Stars appeared in the sky. The same stars that aliens used to travel between worlds. The same stars that humanity would one day explore. Admiral Taiho stood with General Yuna on the roof of the command center. Below them, the city was slowly coming back to life. Lights flickered on in buildings. Music played from somewhere far away. People were celebrating their survival. "We did it," Yuna said softly. "We did it." Taiho agreed. They were quiet for a moment. Then Taiho spoke again. "Before this is over, we should send a message. Not to the Veltari. To everyone. To every species in the galaxy that might be watching." "What kind of message?" Taiho smiled. It was the same smile he had shown Commander Drac, full of confidence, full of pride. "A simple one," he said. He activated the communication system. It broadcast on every frequency, in every direction, across the entire galaxy. "This is Admiral Taiho of Earth," he said. "We are humanity. A few days ago, the Veltari Empire came to our planet and demanded our surrender. They told us to kneel. They told us to give up our freedom. They told us we would be destroyed if we refused." He paused. The stars seemed to shine brighter. "We refused. We fought, and we won. Let this be a message to every empire, every species, every force in the universe that thinks they can threaten our world. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity does not surrender. Humanity does not give up. He looked at Yuna. She nodded. Come at us if you dare, Tejo continued. But know this. We will fight you with everything we have. We will fight you until our last breath. And we will make you regret ever setting foot on our planet. He smiled one last time. We do not kneel. We never will. Welcome to the galaxy, everyone. Humanity has arrived. The message ended. The stars continued to shine. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, countless species heard the words and wondered about the strange, stubborn creatures on the small blue planet called Earth. A new era had begun, and humanity was ready for it. The 72 hours were over. Commander Drax stood at the bridge of his flagship and smiled. This was his favorite moment. The moment before destruction. The moment when hope died. Open a channel to the planet, he ordered. I want them to see their end. The screen flickered to life. Drax expected to see panic. He expected to see leaders begging for more time. He expected surrender. Instead, he saw Admiral Tejo standing calmly at his command center. The human was smiling. Commander Drax, Tejo said. Right on time. I was worried you might be late. Drax's eyes narrowed. Your time is over, human. Your chance to surrender has passed. Now you will watch as we destroy everything you love. Tejo nodded slowly. You know, Commander, I've been thinking about what you said. About how no species has ever defied the Veltari. About how everyone surrenders. And I realized something interesting. What? Drax asked impatiently. You have never actually been tested. Tejo leaned forward. You have never fought a species that refused to give up. You have never faced an enemy that would rather die than kneel. You have no idea what a real war looks like. He paused and his smile grew wider. Allow me to educate you. Tejo pressed a button on his console. Admiral to all forces. Operation Phoenix is go. I repeat, Operation Phoenix is go. For a moment, nothing happened. Drax laughed. What forces? Your tiny military? Your primitive weapons? Do not make me laugh, human. Then the oceans of Earth began to boil, not from heat, from movement. Hundreds of ships burst from the water. They rose into the sky like angry birds. They were sleek and fast and armed with weapons that glowed with strange light. The Veltari had been watching Earth from above. They had scanned for military bases. They had found nothing threatening. They had not thought to look underwater. Impossible! Drax shouted. Where did these come from? Our scans showed nothing. Your scans showed what we wanted you to see, Tejo replied. We have been building these ships for 20 years, just in case someone like you ever came knocking. The hidden fleet spread across the sky. Admiral Tejo himself was in the lead ship. He had refused to command from the ground. If his soldiers were going to die, he would die with them. All ships, engage. Tejo commanded. Show them what humanity can do. The battle began. Human ships were smaller and faster than Veltari vessels. They dodged between the giant alien crafts like flies around elephants. Their weapons fired rapidly, hitting weak points that Earth scientists had identified through days of observation. The Veltari fired back. Their weapons were powerful. Each shot could destroy an entire city. But they were slow. By the time they aimed, the human ships were already gone, attacking from a different angle. They are faster than expected, a Veltari officer reported nervously. All weapons cannot lock onto them. Then use manual targeting. Drax screamed. Destroy them all. The battle raged across the sky. Explosions lit up the atmosphere. Ships from both sides fell burning toward the ground. It was chaos. It was destruction. It was war. On the ground, Commander Day 1 watched the sky with fierce pride. "Those pilots are doing their job," he said. "Now we do ours." Veltari soldiers began descending from their ships. They wore heavy armor and carried weapons that could cut through steel. They landed in cities across the world, expecting easy conquest. They found hell instead. So-Ra and her team were waiting in the streets of Seoul. They hid in buildings, in alleys and shadows. When the first Veltari soldiers marched past, they attacked. "Now!" Sora shouted. Explosives detonated under the aliens' feet. The ground shook. Veltari soldiers stumbled and fell. Before they could recover, bullets rained down from every direction. The Veltari armor was strong, but not invincible. Enough hits in the right places could crack it. And humans were very good at finding the right places. "They are fighting back," a Veltari soldier reported in shock. "They have weapons. They have traps. Crush them," the squad leader ordered. "They are just primitives." But the primitives would not stop fighting. Every street was a battlefield. Every building was a fortress. For every human that fell, two more appeared. They fought with guns, with knives, with their bare hands if needed. In the mountains of Korea, Ki-seung and Hana made final preparations on the gravity pulse generator. The machine hummed with power. Lights flashed across its surface. It was ready. "Targeting the flagship," Hana reported. "If we destroy their command center, the rest might retreat." "Fire when ready," General Yuna ordered through the communication channel. Ki-seung looked at Hana. She looked at him. This was it. One shot. One chance. "Together?" Ki-seung asked. "Together," Hana answered. They pressed the button at the same time. A wave of invisible energy shot into the sky. It moved faster than light. It passed through Earth's atmosphere in less than a second. It hit the Veltari flagship directly. For a moment, nothing happened. Drac looked around in confusion. What was that? Some kind of signal? Then his ship began to shake. The gravity inside the flagship increased dramatically. Walls bent inward. Floors collapsed. Veltari soldiers were pressed against the ground by invisible force. They could not move. They could not breathe. "What is happening?" Drac screamed. He tried to stand, but the weight was too much. His body felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. The flagship crumpled like paper. Metal twisted. Engines exploded. The most powerful ship in the Veltari fleet folded in on itself and began to fall toward Earth. The weapon worked. Hana shouted with joy. It actually worked. But there was no time to celebrate. The machine sparked and smoked. One shot was all they had. Admiral Tejo saw the flagship fall. "All ships, focus fire on the remaining fleet. They are confused and scared. Now is our chance." The human fleet attacked with renewed energy. With their command ship destroyed, the Veltari were in chaos. They had no orders. They had no leader. They had only fear. On the ground, Day 1 led a charge against a Veltari stronghold. His soldiers followed without hesitation. They broke through the alien defenses with pure determination. They showed no mercy because they knew they would receive none. Sora stood over a fallen Veltari soldier. The alien looked up at her with something she had never expected to see in its eyes. Fear. "Please," the Veltari said. "Mercy." Sora thought about all the threats, all the arrogance, all the planets the Veltari had destroyed without mercy. "You should have thought about mercy before you came here," she said. The battle continued for hours. The sky burned with fire. The ground shook with explosions. But slowly, surely, the tide turned. The Veltari were powerful, but they had never faced anything like this. They had never fought an enemy that absolutely refused to die. By sunset, Half the Veltari fleet was destroyed. The rest were retreating, running away from the small blue planet that had caused them so much pain. Admiral Taiho watched them go. His ship was damaged. His body was exhausted, but his spirit was stronger than ever. "This is Admiral Taiho to all forces," he said. "The enemy is retreating. We have won this battle, but stay alert. The war is not over yet." On the ground, soldiers hugged each other. Civilians came out of their shelters. People looked up at the sky where the alien ships used to be. The sun was shining again. The shadows were gone. Humanity had survived. Against all odds. Against a force that had conquered thousands of worlds. A small planet of stubborn creatures had refused to give up Dot, and for the first time in 10,000 years, the Veltari knew what it felt like to lose. Deep beneath the mountains of Korea, in a place no satellite could see and no scanner could find, humanity worked in secret. The underground base stretched for miles. Thousands of scientists, engineers, and soldiers moved through its halls. They worked without rest. They worked without complaint. They worked because the future of their species depended on it. Ki Daeshung stood in the center of the main laboratory. He was a thin man with messy hair and glasses that were always sliding down his nose. He had not slept in 3 days. His eyes were red. His hands were shaking. But he could not stop. Not now. Not when they were so close. "Check the power levels again," he said to his team. "We cannot afford any mistakes." The machine in front of him was massive. It took up half the laboratory. Wires and cables ran in every direction. Lights blinked on dozens of screens. This was the gravity pulse generator. This was humanity's secret weapon. And it was almost ready. Hana walked over with a tablet in her hands. She was a young scientist with short hair and bright eyes. She was the smartest person Kisung had ever met. She had designed the core of the machine. Without her, none of this would be possible. "The calculations are complete," Hana said. "If we fired the pulse at the right frequency, it should create a gravity wave strong enough to crush their ships from the inside." "Should?" Kisung raised an eyebrow. "That word makes me nervous." Hana shrugged. "We have never tested it on alien technology before. Their ships might be stronger than we think, or they might be weaker. There is no way to know until we try." "How many times can we fire it?" "Once, maybe twice if we are lucky. After that, the machine will burn out. We do not have the materials to build another one." Kisung nodded slowly. One shot. They had one shot to save the entire planet. No pressure at all. "Then we need to make it count," he said quietly. On the other side of the base, Commander Day One trained his soldiers. The training room was huge. It had been built to prepare for any kind of enemy. But no one had imagined an enemy like the Veltari. "Move faster," the D1 shouted. He was a broad man with a shaved head and a voice like thunder. He had fought in wars across 3 continents. He had never lost a soldier under his command. He did not plan to start now. The soldiers ran through the obstacle course. They climbed walls. They crawled under wires. They fired at targets that popped up from nowhere. They were tired. They were scared. But they kept moving. A young woman named Sora finished the course first. She was breathing hard, but her eyes were sharp. She had joined the military only 2 years ago. She had never seen real combat. But she had trained harder than anyone. "Good time," they once said. "But not good enough. The Veltari will not wait for you to catch your breath. They will kill you in seconds. Then tell us how to beat them," Sora said. There was no disrespect in her voice, only determination. "Their armor, their weapons. How do we fight something we have never seen?" Day One looked at her for a long moment. Then he looked at all the soldiers gathered around him. They were young. Most of them were barely adults. They should be in school. They should be falling in love. They should be living their lives. Instead, they were preparing to die. "I will not lie to you," they once said. "The Veltari are stronger than us. Their armor is harder. Their weapons are more advanced. In a straight fight, they will probably win." The soldiers looked at each other nervously. "But we are not going to fight straight," Day One continued. "We are going to fight dirty. We are going to use every trick, every trap, every cheap move we can think of. We are going to hide in shadows and strike when they do not expect it. We are going to make them bleed for every step they take on our planet." He picked up a rifle from the table. "This is our standard weapon. It might not break their armor, but it can slow them down. It can distract them. And while they are distracted, someone else can hit them from behind." He pointed to a box of explosives. "These are our best friends. We plant them everywhere. In buildings, in roads, in trees. When the Veltari walk over them, boom, surprise." The soldiers laughed nervously. It was a dark kind of humor, but it was better than crying. "Most importantly," they once said, "we work together. One human cannot beat one Voltari, but 10 humans can. 20 can definitely. We fight as teams. We protect each other. We never leave anyone behind." Sora nodded. "We understand, Commander. When do we fight?" "Soon," Day One said. "Very soon?" Above ground, the world waited. Cities were quiet. Streets were empty. People stayed in their homes and watched the sky. The alien ships were still there, still waiting, still blocking out the sun. Admiral Tejo stood on the roof of the command center. The wind blew cold against his face. He looked up at the massive shadows in the sky. They were so big, so powerful. How could anyone fight against such a force? General Yuna joined him on the roof. She held 2 cups of tea. She handed one to Tejo. "You should rest," she said. "The battle will come soon. You need your strength." Tejo took the tea but did not drink. "I keep thinking about my daughter. She called me yesterday. She asked if we were going to be okay. What did you tell her?" "I told her yes. I told her that everything would be fine." Tejo's voice was heavy. "I hope I was not lying." Yuna was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke. "I called my mother too. She is 80 years old. She has lived through so many hard times. Wars, poverty, disease. She survived all of it. What did she say?" Yuna smiled slightly. She said, "Yuna, I did not raise you to be afraid. If those aliens want to fight, you give them one they will never forget." Tejo laughed. It was a small laugh, but it was real. "Your mother sounds like a strong woman. The strongest I know. Where do you think I got it from?" They stood in silence for a while. The tea grew cold in their hands. The sky grew darker as the sun moved behind the alien ships. "The hidden fleet is ready," Yuna finally said. 300 ships. Our best pilots. They are waiting in the ocean bases. The Veltari have no idea they exist. And the weapon? Kisung says 12 more hours. He will finish on time." Tejo nodded. "Then we have a chance. A small chance. But a chance." "That is all we need," Yuna said. "One chance. One moment. And we take it with everything we have." The hours passed slowly. In the underground base, Kisung and Hana worked on the final pieces of the weapon. In the training rooms, Day One pushed his soldiers harder and harder. In the ocean bases, pilots sat in their ships and waited for orders. And in the sky above, the Veltari had no idea. They thought humanity had given up. They thought the humans were sitting in their homes, crying and waiting for death. They did not know about the secret bases. They did not know about the hidden fleet. They did not know that humans had spent their entire history fighting against impossible odds. In 12 hours. They would find out. In 12 hours. Humanity would show the galaxy what it meant to be human. In 12 hours. The universe would change forever. The countdown continued. The clock ticked. And beneath the surface of a small blue planet, an entire species prepared for the fight of their lives. 48 hours had passed since the Veltari arrived. The alien ships still hung in the sky like giant metal clouds. They did not move. They did not attack. They simply waited. And the waiting was the worst part. Commander Drax sat on his throne inside the flagship. He was pleased with himself. He had done this many times before. He had visited countless planets. He had given the same speech to countless species. And every single time, they had surrendered. Fear was the most powerful weapon in the universe. No creature wanted to die. No species wanted to disappear. "Commander," said one of his officers, "the humans are requesting communication." Drax smiled. His sharp teeth gleamed in the dim light. "So soon? They still have 24 hours. They must be eager to serve us." He waved his hand. "Open the channel. Let me hear their surrender." The screen in front of him flickered to life. Drax expected to see fear. He expected to see broken leaders begging for mercy. He expected tears and trembling voices. Instead, he saw Admiral Tejo. The human was standing tall. His uniform was clean and pressed. His eyes were steady, and there was something strange on his face. Something Drax did not recognize. "Commander Drax," Tejo said, "thank you for waiting. We have made our decision." Drax leaned forward. "Speak, human. Tell me of your surrender." Tejo paused. Then he did something that shocked every Veltari watching. He laughed odd. It was not a small laugh. It was not a nervous laugh. It was a deep, full laugh that echoed through the communication channel. Tejo threw his head back and laughed as if someone had told him the funniest joke in the galaxy. Drax's four eyes widened. His officers looked at each other in confusion. This had never happened before. In 10,000 years of conquest, no species had ever laughed at the Veltari. "What is the meaning of this?" Drax demanded. His voice was sharp with anger. "Do you not understand your situation? Do you not see the power above your heads?" Tejo stopped laughing. He wiped his eyes and looked directly at Drax. "Oh, I understand perfectly, Commander. I see your ships. I see your weapons. I see your army. And I find it very funny." "Funny?" Drax's voice rose. "What is funny about your destruction?" Tejo smiled. "What is funny is that you think we are afraid. What is funny is that you believe a few big ships can make humans surrender. What is funny is that you came all the way across the galaxy, and you have no idea who you are dealing with." General Yuna stepped into view beside Tejo. Her arms were crossed. Her face was calm but fierce. "Let me make this simple for you, Commander. We are not going to surrender. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not ever." Drax slammed his fist on his throne. "Then you will die. All of you. Every man, woman, and child on your pathetic planet." "Maybe," Tejo said with a shrug. "But we will not die kneeling. We will die fighting. And trust me, Commander, we are very good at fighting." Yuna took a step forward. "For thousands of years, humans have fought each other. We have survived wars, diseases, famines, and disasters. We have killed millions of our own kind. We are not peaceful creatures, Drax. We are survivors. We are warriors. And you have just made the biggest mistake of your life by threatening us." Drax stared at them. For the first time in centuries, he felt something he had forgotten. It was a small feeling, hidden deep inside his chest. It took him a moment to recognize it. It was doubt, but he pushed it away. He was Drac, commander of the Veltari. He had conquered worlds. He had crushed empires. Two humans with brave words would not scare him. "You are fools," Drac said coldly. "Your bravery will not save you. Your words will not stop our weapons. When the 72 hours are over, I will personally watch your cities burn." Tejo nodded slowly. "Then I guess we have nothing more to discuss. See you soon, Commander." The screen went black. Drak sat in silence. His officers waited nervously. None of them dared to speak. They had never seen their commander so quiet. "Commander," one officer finally said, "should we attack now? We do not need to wait. We can destroy them in hours." Drac raised his hand. "No, we will wait. Let them have their final hours. Let them prepare their useless defenses. When the time comes, I want them to watch everything they love disappear. I want them to regret their foolish pride." He stood from his throne and walked to the window. Below him, the blue and green planet floated peacefully in space. It looked so small, so fragile. How could such a tiny world produce such arrogant creatures? "Prepare the fleet for total destruction," Drac ordered. "When we attack, I want nothing left alive." Down on Earth, Tejo and Yuna walked out of the communication room. Soldiers lined the hallways. They had heard everything. They had seen their leaders laugh at the most powerful enemy in the universe. "Admiral," one young soldier said. His name was Jin Woo. He was barely 20 years old. Was that smart? Making them angry? Tejo stopped and looked at the young man. "Jin Woo, let me tell you something. Fear is a disease. If we show fear, it spreads. Our people see us scared, and they become scared. The enemy sees us scared, and they become confident." Yuna nodded. "But when we laugh? When we show that we are not afraid? It confuses the enemy. It makes them wonder what we know that they do not. And it gives our people hope." Jin Woo thought about this. Then he smiled. "So the laugh was a weapon?" "The best weapon we have right now," Tejo said. "Now go. Tell everyone what you saw. Tell them that their leaders are not afraid. Tell them that humanity will fight." Jin Woo saluted and ran off. Yuna watched him go. Then she turned to Tejo. "Do we actually have a plan? Or was the laugh our entire strategy?" Tejo smiled slightly. "We have a plan. A small one, but it might work." They walked through the underground base. It was deep beneath the mountains of Korea. This was Earth's most secret location. Only a few people knew it existed. It was here that humanity's greatest minds worked on their most advanced projects. Ki-sung and Hannah have been working non-stop, Tejo said. They believe they can finish the weapon in time. "The gravity pulse?" Yuna asked. "Yes, if it works, it could disable their ships. Maybe even destroy them. And if it does not work?" Tejo stopped walking. He looked at Yuna with tired eyes. "Then we fight with everything we have. Ships, missiles, guns, fists if we must. But we do not surrender." Yuna nodded. "I will prepare the ground forces. If any of them land, we will make them pay for every inch of Earth they try to take." "Good." Tejo put his hand on her shoulder. "We might not win this war, Yuna, but we can make them remember us. We can make sure that when other species hear about humanity, they will know we did not go quietly." "We did not go quietly," Yuna repeated. "I like that." Above them, the alien ships waited. Their weapons powered up slowly, preparing for the coming destruction. But the Veltari did not know what was happening below. They did not know about the secret base. They did not know about the weapon. They did not know that humanity was not waiting to die. Humanity was preparing to fight back, and in 24 hours, The Veltari would learn a lesson that no species in the galaxy had ever taught them. They would learn what happens when you threaten humans. They would learn the true meaning of human stubbornness, human courage, and human rage. The countdown had begun. The sky above Seoul turned dark at noon. It was not clouds. It was not an eclipse. It was something that humans had never seen before. Massive ships blocked the sun. They were bigger than mountains. They were darker than the deepest ocean. And they covered the entire sky from one end to another. Admiral Taeho stood at the window of Earth's Defense Command. He was a tall man with gray hair and sharp eyes. He had served in the military for 30 years. He had seen many battles. He had faced many enemies. But he had never seen anything like this. How many ships? He asked quietly. Over 10,000, sir, answered a young officer. His voice was shaking. They appeared from nowhere. No warning. No signal. They just came. Taeho nodded slowly. He had always known this day would come. Humanity had been alone in the universe for too long. They had always wondered if there was life beyond Earth. Now they had their answer. And the answer was terrifying. General Yuna walked into the room. She was shorter than Taeho, but her presence was strong. Her black hair was tied back tightly. Her face showed no fear, only focus. She had been the head of ground forces for 15 years. She had never lost a battle on Earth. But this was not a battle on Earth. This was something much bigger. They are sending a transmission, Yuna said. All frequencies. All languages. They want us to listen. Taeho turned to the main screen. Put it on. The screen flickered. Then a face appeared. It was not human. The creature had pale blue skin and 4 eyes. Its mouth was wide and filled with small, sharp teeth. Behind it, Taeho could see the inside of a ship. It was cold and metallic. There were no colors, only gray and black. I am Commander Drac of the Veltari Empire, the creature spoke. Its voice was deep and harsh. We have traveled across galaxies. We have conquered thousands of worlds. We have destroyed species that dared to stand against us. Today, we come to your planet. The room was silent. Every person watched the screen. Every heart beat faster. Every breath became shorter. Drac continued. Your planet is small. Your species is young. You are nothing compared to the might of the Veltari. We do not need to fight you. We do not need to waste our weapons on you. We simply need you to do one thing. He paused. His 4 eyes stared directly into the camera. It felt like he was looking at every human on Earth at the same time. Capitulate, Drac said. Surrender. Bow down to the Veltari Empire. Give us your resources. Give us your planet. Give us your freedom. Do this, and we will let you live. You will become our servants. You will work for us. You will obey us. But you will live. Taeho felt his hands tighten into fists. He looked at Yuna. She was staring at the screen with fire in her eyes. If you refuse, Drac continued, we will destroy everything. Your cities will burn. Your oceans will boil. Your mountains will crumble. Nothing will remain. No man, no woman, no child. Your species will be erased from history. You will be forgotten. It will be as if you never existed. Drac leaned closer to the camera. You have 72 hours to decide. 72 hours to accept our generous offer. After that, there will be no mercy. There will be no second chance. There will only be death. The screen went black. The room remained silent. People looked at each other with fear in their eyes. Some were crying. Some were frozen in place. The weight of the moment crushed everyone like a heavy stone. Taeho took a deep breath. He walked to the center of the room. Everyone watched him. He was their leader. He was their hope. And right now, they needed him to say something. Call every nation, Taeho said calmly. Every leader, every president, every prime minister. Tell them we need to talk, now. Within hours, the world's leaders gathered through video calls. Presidents from America, leaders from Europe, commanders from Asia. Everyone came together. For the first time in human history, every nation united under one cause. We cannot fight them, said one leader. Their ships are too many. Their technology is too advanced. We should surrender. Surrender means slavery, Yuna responded sharply. They do not want peace. They want control. They want to own us like animals. But fighting means death, another leader argued. Did you not hear him? They will destroy us completely. The argument continued for hours. Some wanted to fight. Some wanted to surrender. Fear and pride clashed in every word. Taeho listened quietly. He did not speak. He only watched. He saw the fear in their faces. He saw the doubt in their hearts. And he understood. They were scared. They had every right to be scared. But Taeho was not scared. He was angry. He thought about his daughter. She was only 12 years old. She loved to read books and paint pictures. She dreamed of becoming an artist. What would happen to her dreams if the Veltari won? What would happen to every child's dreams? He thought about the soldiers he had trained, young men and women who had given their lives to protect their country. Would he ask them to kneel before an alien tyrant? He thought about all the generations before him, the people who had fought wars, survived disasters, and built civilizations from nothing. Would he be the one to give it all away? No, he would not. Tae-Ho stood up. The room went silent. I have heard enough, he said. His voice was calm but powerful. I understand your fear. I feel it too, but I will not surrender. I will not bow to creatures who threaten our children. I will not give away what our ancestors built with blood and tears. He looked at the screen where all the leaders watched him. You can surrender if you want, Taeho continued. But I will fight, even if I am alone. Even if I have only one ship and one weapon. I will fight until my last breath. Because that is what it means to be human. We do not give up. We do not kneel. We fight. Yuna stood beside him. I stand with the Admiral, she said firmly. One by one, others began to stand. Generals, soldiers, officers, leaders from every nation slowly rose to their feet. Then we fight, said a voice from the screen. It was the President of Korea. We fight together. Outside, the alien ships still blocked the sun. Inside, humanity prepared for war.